kings and gods of Smash Brothers are dead, and only one man remains. One funny little block man to rule them all.
This past weekend's GIMVITAtional was a summit-style event, with invites going out to some of the best players in the world, while others were voted in to round out the 16-spot roster for one of the year's most exciting and eye-opening tournaments. We'll take you through all the action this weekend, from the lab, from Acola's devastating run to the top, huge losers runs from Cola and Light, and what we can learn from the rest of the bloodbath that took place. Well, it wasn't even close. Acola, the 15-year-old Steve prodigy, came to the United States for the first time in his young career and beat the brakes off of everyone at the GIMVITAtional. He was taken to Game 5 only twice, both in pools by Ferps and Cola, but other than that, it was a dominant showing from the kid. On top of the aforementioned Cola and Ferps, Acola also beat Larry Lurr in pools to earn a top seed heading into Sunday. He would go on to sweep Mars in winners quarterfinals and throttle Asimo, Riddles, and Light, all by 3-1 scores to take the tournament with 7 consecutive set wins. It came down to the fact that Acola is a killer. Besides getting 3-stocked in Game 2, he won every game in Grand Finals and took stocks at ludicrous percents, with a mind-blowing average KO percent of 87.7. Not only did he abuse Diamond Tools, but also Footstool and Anvil out of Shield, arguably the single strongest Footstool out of Shield punish in the game, capable of punishing even the lightning-quick Fox Nair. That, combined with Steve's combo ability off of safe jabs, up tilts, and just loose hits, meant that as soon as Light spawned in off the Angel platform, he was on a timer. It's uncertain when we'll see Acola back on American soil, and it's somewhat disheartening that he didn't get a chance to play versus MKLeo or Spargo, but nonetheless, he proved himself as an absolute force, and one of the best players on Earth this weekend. Now, since there were only 16 players, we have enough time to quickly cover everyone who came up short this weekend and how they did. We'll start with likely the biggest victim of circumstance at the event, Gact. Gact finished 13th after being seeded 9th, making this only the second American event, along with Genesis 8, where he underperformed his seed since Smash and Splash 5 in May of 2019. Gact was put into a pool with Cosmos, Jin, and Spargo, the all-sortie pool, and as a Ness main, that put him at a disadvantage from the start. Due to a general lack of disjoints, Ness has a hard time against sorties, usually getting walled out by their superior hitboxes, and most of the Ness community feels like Cloud and especially Pyra and Mithra are uphill battles. This didn't bother Gact in the beginning though, as he 3-0'd Cosmos in his first pool set, but unfortunately for him, that would be his last set win of the tournament. He lost to Spargo and Jin in pools, then the white-hot Steve Yanni to get a date with Light in losers round 1 of the final bracket, where he was able to force a Game 5, but not able to take the set. Gact's run at the GIMVITAtional is proof that a low placement at a high-level invitational doesn't indicate poor play. He took down one of the strongest players in the world in Cosmos, but 3 losing matchups into Steve into Light is hardly an easy path even to the best player, and Gact came up just short. The other 3 13th place finishers, Jin, Loaf, and Chase, had similar runs. Jin was able to take 1 set in pools, a 3-2 Heartstopper over Gact. Loaf took 2 sets, taking down Yanni in Game 5 in pools, and Jin 3-1 in the clinical trial phase. And Chase, despite not winning a set over the course of the weekend, took both Cola and Asimo to Game 5 and very nearly sending Cola out at 13th. All 3 players have been rising stars of the post-lockdown era and proved they belonged with the best of the best this weekend. Ferps came into the GIMVITAtional with something to prove. He was the only South American player in attendance. He wanted to show he wasn't just there to enjoy the event and the experience with the top players. He was there to prove he could hang with the best. Ferps immediately made his presence felt. Despite falling short in the end, he was able to take Acola and Cola to Game 5. Saturday, Ferps looked off his game, falling to Larry Lurr and Yanni and dropping the losers bracket to start Sunday's final stage. Then he absolutely Kazuya'd Loaf, showing the world exactly what he was capable of. With the big win in the final phase and tight sets against some of the best players in the world, Ferp showed that he deserved his spot at the table. Larry Lur had a similarly up-and-down weekend, with 3 wins over Jin, Ferps, and Chase, and 4 losses to Cola, Acola, Riddles, and Cosmos. Larry's wins were dominant, not dropping a single game in sets he won, and his losses were close. Larry is one of the best established gatekeepers of the top level of competitive Smash over the years, and it doesn't look like he'll be handing over that status anytime soon. If he can close out just 1 or 2 of these close sets against upper echelon players, he'd be capable of yet another huge run down the line. Tweak won his pool going almost all Sephiroth, going with the one-winged angel for all but 4 games across his 5 sets. The trusty Diddy Kong didn't put in much work when it was called upon, winning 0 of the 4 games where it was chosen. The Sephiroth looked more polished than it did even at his 4th place Momocon finish, as it's been used more often, taking 3-0 sets off of Yanni and Loaf. Tweak is starting to look more like a dual main as opposed to someone with a Sephiroth secondary. He's walking a tricky line, trying to see who he should use and when. As he gets more comfortable with each character, they should make most matchups doable for Tweak, and he can return to form as one of Ultimate's best players. Unfortunately, the comfort Tweak showed in his pools win over Yanni was absent in the run back in winners quarterfinals on Sunday. Tweak then received maybe the worst draw possible after taking such a loss. A furious Cola, who started the day in loser's bracket and steamrolled Tweak, 2-stocking him 3 times in a 3-1 win and leaving one of the world's best players out at 9th. Likely the most impressive of the 9th place runs was Mars. Mars's last major appearance was at Genesis 8 all the way back in April, where he ran to 7th place with Zero Suit Samus, except for one Game 5 with Myron where he pulled out a secret Joker that surprised even the commentators for a change of pace.
Wait, he changed. He's Joker.
Oh.
He went Joker. Now this Joker has been in the talks for a while.
The Joker didn't quite work out at Genesis, but oh baby did it work out at the GIMVITATIONal. After losing 3-2 to Asimo as ZSS, Mars pulled out the Joker against Light, and after a close Game 1 loss, he stuck to his guns, quite literally, and pulled out 3 straight wins to take the set. He then beat Chase and Loaf with solo Joker to put him on winner's side going into day 3, but he couldn't keep the run going, losing to Acola and Light in the run back for 9th place, the 2 players who would go on to meet in grand finals. Back on our PGR Contender series, we said that Mars had that next level of player inside of him somewhere, and he proved it this weekend with the win over the best player in the United States. It wasn't with ZSS or even Donkey Kong, but Mars is back, baby, and it's like he never left. Now, top 8 is where things start to heat up. Up first and 7th, we have Spargo. Spargo is... Wait, what? Spargo finished 7th? Well, before this tournament, Spargo hadn't finished outside the top 6 at a major since Genesis 7 in January of 2020. Technically 2.5 years ago, but in practice, a lifetime ago. He's been on fire, and he cemented himself as the 2nd best player in the world. What happened? Spargo was the number 1 seed going into the tournament and played like it on Friday and Saturday. He opened up pools with a 5-game set against Jin, but calmed down quickly and swept Cosmos and Gak 3-0. But on Sunday, he ran into the unstoppable and immovable force that is Riddles piloting Kazuya Mishima. He was 3-stocked in just over a minute in Game 1, and even though he took Game 2, Riddles cruised to victory, knocking Spargo into losers. He got his revenge versus Kazuya, beating Ferps 3-0, but then ran into Cola in the 7th place match. And despite being up 2-0 against Cola, he couldn't get the job done, and Cola reverse 3-0'd him to take the set and send Spargo home. There are very few players on the planet who could reasonably be disappointed by any result where the losses are Cola and Riddles, but Spargo is one of them. Beyond his incredible streak of top 6 finishes, Spargo had a 5-0 combined record on the pair heading into Sunday's play. Spargo is still Spargo, graceful on the sticks and gracious in victory and defeat. He was shown to be human by 2 amazing players, but this is by no means a slump or a poor performance, just a stacked event and some great performances from his opponents. It'll be interesting to see if he can bounce back at his next American event, which will be Double Down on July 8th. Then we have Cosmos. The other 7th place finisher started slow, finishing last in his pool, but then turned it up a notch in the clinical trial stage, beating Cola and Light in clutch Game 5 sets to shake off the Chokemos nickname and put himself into winner's side going into Day 3. Well, there he lost to Asimo 3-0 and was desperate enough to even pull out the Korin in Game 3, a sight not seen at an offline major since Glitch 8 in January of 2020. He then beat Larry Lur in 5 games before losing to Light in the run back. Cosmos isn't the world's most consistent player, but he proved that he belongs in the conversation with the world's best with his wins over Light and Cola. Yanni and Asimo were the breakout stars of the weekend, and both finished 5th. Yanni added Riddles, Ferps, Gact, and Tweak to his expanding list of great wins over the past few majors. The Tweak win in particular was incredible, as he lost 3-0 to Tweak in pools, then came back and shocked him with a 3-1 victory when it counted most in the final bracket. Sephiroth and Cloud are thought to be Steve's worst matchups, so Yanni taking down Tweak gave the Ban Steve crowd some ammo to use against the Geometric Menace. But it doesn't look like Yanni cares all that much.
Look, hey, I'm gonna get a stack with you. Your game is dying, and it's because of me. I'm sorry. As a character I play, I don't care. I don't care.
Those who have been following our coverage of Japan's tournament scene should already be familiar with Asimo, a constant force in major top 8s in the country in 2022. Along with Acola, he was making his overseas debut, and he proved to the US crowd what the Japanese player base has known for a while now. Asimo and Ryu are both absolute menaces. He picked up wins over Mars, Light, Chase, and Cosmos before losing to Acola in winners and Cola in a reverse 3-0 in losers for 5th. An amazing performance for anybody, much less a player facing the pressure of their first major international event. Up next, we have Cola, who, as those of you paying attention may have caught, accomplished 2 reverse 3-0s in back-to-back sets in losers top 8 of a major. Cola played 9 sets, and an astonishing 6 went to 5 games. In pools, he took Acola to Game 5, an achievement that stands brighter after Acola dropped just 4 games in 4 sets on Sunday. He almost reverse 3-0'd Cosmos in the clinical trials phase, but came up just short, dooming him to a start from loser's side on Sunday. He had played mostly Cloud on days 1 and 2, saying that he was thinking about dropping Roy altogether because he doesn't do especially well against Smash Ultimate's top tiers. But on day 3, it was all Roy on his run to the top. 3-2 over Chase, even winning with a very friendly homie stock. 3-1 over Tweak, then the aforementioned reverse 3-0s against Asimo and Spargo capped off an amazing loser's run for Cola, who looked invigorated in his set against Asimo after looking like he was having less than 0 fun against Ferps and Acola. Cola is explosive, but now he's showing that he's consistent too, and he's become an all-out force that is only getting better with each passing tournament. In 3rd place was Riddles, who proved that he is, in fact, that dude when it comes down to it. He beat Tweak and Spargo along with Larry, Lur, Loaf, and Yanni to finish 3rd, and Riddle said it best when he secured his spot in top 3 for the first time in a major.
Oh my god, I'm not getting f***ing 4th place again.
Oh yeah, true.
Go, bro.
His punish game was otherworldly, whether he played Terry or Kazuya, and he proved that he can take that next step and be the best player in the venue at any time. He couldn't beat Light or Acola, but all in all, it was an impressive performance from the young Canadian. Finally, we have Light, whose run can best be described by him after he beat Gact to move on to losers top 8 qualifiers.
Honestly, I don't know who that player out there is. It's not me, and I promise I'm going to bring this back. I'm going to play way better every time. Every more set I get, I'm going to play better each one.
It's easy to think his claims there were bravado, him hyping himself up or trying to look cool for the camera, but he went out there and did exactly what he said he was going to do. Light went 1-3 in his first 4 sets, but then he won 6 sets in a row to make it to grand finals. 3-2 over Gact, 3-1 over Mars, 3-1 over Cosmos, 3-0 over Yanni, 3-1 over Cola, and finally 3-0 over Riddles in losers finals. It was as he said. He played better in each set than he did in the previous one. Each set finding stronger punishes, showing crisper movement, and making more confident reads until he looked like he could beat anyone on Earth. Well, not quite anyone. He did fall to Acola, who looked like he very well could be the best player in the world on Sunday. But Light overcame a terrible start to the tournament to prove that he is still the USA's best. Light willed his way into the final and showed the rest of the world that sometimes you just need to keep grinding. Nobody cares. Work harder. This was a busy weekend beyond the GIMVITATIONal, with top players like Gluttony, MKLeoT, and others in action at tournaments across the world. For a rundown on the rest of the tournaments this week, like Crown 2, the E-Caribana Invitational, and COS 2022, follow us on Twitter at PGstats, and keep an eye on our website PGstats.com, where we'll be publishing a recap article later this week. Next week, we turn our attention to the first stop on the Panda Cup, CEO 2022, where the world's best players will be competing for the first qualifying spot into December's Panda Cup finals and jockeying for position on the PGRU V4. Subscribe to PG Stats to stick with us, as we'll be on site with player interviews and following up with the tournament coverage we provide every week. I've been Kimona from PG Stats, and thank you for watching. We'll see you all next time.